Hello, welcome, come on in. Welcome to Waterless Toilet Shop. This video is to give you a brief introduction to our company and also to our showroom here in Henderson, Nevada. Waterless Toilet Shop is a company for toilets that don't use any water to flush the waste. Instead, we have composting toilets and other types of waterless toilets. Waterless Toilet Shop is a joint venture of two foreign parent companies, Greenloo from Australia and Pikkuvihreä from Finland. Our mission is to bring our great waterless composting toilets here into the US so that you and everyone else can enjoy off-grid living. In this video, I'm going to give you a brief showroom tour. We have our self-contained models. Self-contained waterless toilet means that it's installed directly on floor level. You have everything within the system itself that you see. The opposite for self-contained system would be to have a split system, in which case you have the toilet separated from an external composting unit that is directly below the toilet floor level. Let's first have a look around the self-contained models that we have and then continue with the split systems. Let's begin from right over here. Here we have a self-contained waterless toilet called Green Toilet Light. Come on, have a look. This has urine separation, so it's really not a true authentic composting toilet. The Green Toilet Light is a urine diverting toilet that merely collects the waste within the unit itself so that it doesn't smell at all, and then you can dispose it later on. The next model that we have is called Green Toilet 100 Easy. This one is a true composting toilet, and it's a batch composting toilet. I'm going to explain the term batch composting in a minute. But this one does not have any separation of urine directly in the seat, but instead urine is separated through a double base within the composting toilet container inside. So if you have more urine going into the system than the compost can absorb, there's an outlet for excess liquids to drain out. In addition, there's a second container, and this is really where the batch composting comes in. So when that container fills up, it is pulled out, it has wheels, and then the full container is sealed with a closed lid, and then you have the spare container emptied. You put that into use, and that's how you can continue using the toilet while the full one is outside undergoing further composting process. By the time the second container is also full, the first one is already ready with composting. And that's the neat idea of batch composting. The next model we have here is called the Aussie Pod. This is made in Australia by company Greenloo. Similar to the Green Toilet Easy, the Aussie Pod is also a batch composting toilet. So you have two bins. The other one is now inside this model. Have a look, come inside. Here, the Aussie Pod has a view screen. So when you're using the toilet, you open up the view screen, you do your thing, and then you close up the view screen. Just like that. And when this toilet fills up, you take the top part of the composting toilet away. You lift the container inside out, seal the lid, put the empty container to use, and leave the full one outside to undergo further composting process. Next in line, we have again a self-contained batch composting toilet. This one is called the Tiny Pod. This one is really similar to the Aussie Pod. Similar, it has the composting toilet container right over there. When the container inside fills up, you again switch the composting toilet containers, leave the full one outside while using the other one. These systems are usually good for 1 up to 3 people using the toilet. If you have more people, you should consider having extra composting toilet containers. So you can purchase these separately. Say, for example, if you have 4 people using a toilet occasionally throughout the year, it's likely that you're going to need a 3rd or even a 4th container. This again depends a bit on the climate, how fast the composting process is, but generally you have the option to extend the capacity of the batch composting toilet, and that's really neat. Finally, here we have the RV Pod. The RV pod is a urine diverting toilet, just as the green toilet light. I got some stuff over there, but you can see it. So this model contains all of the waste, not just the solids, but liquids also within the toilet itself. So this fits really well into camper vans, RVs, even boats. So this is the selection of our self-contained waterless toilets. Most of these are composting toilets, but then we also have a couple of urine diverting toilets like the green toilet light and the RV pod. Generally, I think that self-contained options are usually somewhat easier to install. They're more flexible in the sense that you can have them virtually anywhere. But of course, the downside, if you like, is that because you have to have everything within the container itself, the capacity is more or less limited. So you have to extend it with more containers, or the toilet has to be used only occasionally. All right, moving on. Then on this side of our showroom, we have all our split system composting toilets. Come over here. I'm going to show you what the split system means. Here you see a display of a toilet that has an external composting unit below the bathroom floor level. The porcelain-made toilet is connected to the underfloor composting unit by a waste shaft. And this works the way that when you're using the toilet, all waste simply drops through into the composting unit below the floor level. The great thing about this split system design is that you can have much greater capacity, and therefore more people can use it. You can use it full time. So that's really a good thing about split systems. Now, within the category of split system composting toilets, there are different kinds of toilets. There are batch composting and continuous composting toilets. This one that you see here is called Green Loo GL90. This one is a batch composting toilet. So when that container fills up, it is pulled out, sealed with a closed lid, and replaced by an empty spare container. While the full one is outside composting, the other one is in use. And again, by the time the second container is also full, the other container is ready with composting. As with the self-contained batch composting toilets, you have always the option to have more composting toilet containers if you need. The smallest split system batch composting toilet model we have is the GL55, which is right over here. The second one is the GL90. And then the next one we have here, come over that side. This is the green toilet 120 Lux. So this toilet is very similar to the GL90. It comes with two containers. When one fills up, you replace the full one with an empty spare. This one has slightly greater capacity if you compare it with the GL90. But of course, this model requires a little bit more height below the bathroom floor level. Again, with this type of toilet, the excess liquids, the liquids that are not absorbed into the compost and evaporated through ventilation, they get drained out and they can be directed into a trench or collected to a canister. This is really popular system, especially in the northern parts of the US and in Canada. I would say not just because it comes with wheels, so you can easily move it around, but it's also a little bit more sturdy in terms of the material that it has been made of if you compare with the GL90. So it works really well in cold climates. The next one, the Green Toilet 330, is identical to the Green Toilet 120 Lux, smaller one, but this is 3 times bigger than the 120. This system is already sufficient for up to 8, even 10 people using the toilet almost every day. But it can also work well in public use cases, for example, in nature trails, conservation areas, marinas, whatever have you. Again, the Green Toilet Lux 120 is a batch composting toilet, so you can have more than just the 2 containers if you need. Though I gotta say that with the green toilet 330 being this size, it's very sufficient for up to 10 people. Again, I did mention that we have batch composting toilets, but the next category is what we call continuous composting toilets. Come over here. Here we have 2 toilets that fall within the category of continuous split system composting toilets. Here you see a continuous composting toilet CF8 and the smaller one CF4. Unlike with the batch composting toilets where you have multiple containers that switch position, with continuous composting toilets you have continuously new waste going into the composting container, and then when the container is full enough, there is a hatch that you open up, and then you work it with a shovel or digging fork. You make space for the new waste coming into the toilet. Once the container is nearly full, the first waste already in the front of part of the composting container is ready with composting, and you can use it safely in your garden or what have you. This one is just a bigger version. This fits for full-time use of family or in public use, the CF8, and the smaller one, CF4, is better for weekend use, occasional family use. But really the important thing is that these are continuous systems. There is no container being switched or pulled out. So what it does is that the capacity is more or less fixed. So you can't make the container bigger or have a second container. So if you wish to have a continuous composting toilet, I usually always recommend having the bigger one if you have the space for the container. What's great thing about this is that you can actually half bury these CF toilets. So you can have your ground level going on here. Of course, depending on your ground conditions, but generally that is possible. The last one in the line of split system toilets, we have the Rotalu. This is very unique. This is a batch composting toilet in the sense that you have 6 containers within this larger composting toilet unit. And then you have the pedestal, which is right over here. You have the bathroom floor level here. All waste drops in to the composting toilet tank. And then when a container fills up, you rotate the system until you have the next one below the bathroom floor level. When the Rotalu has made its full cycle, you can pull out the first container that is ready with composting and go and empty that one. So it's really a clever, neat design. It's rather low profile, so you don't have to have a lot of space below your bathroom floor level. All right, now we have gone through the category of split systems. We have batch composting toilets and continuous composting toilets in the split system category. We have a whole range of different kinds of porcelain and plastic pedestals that can be used with a split system. You can come and look here how it looks inside. There's just a direct drop through that pedestal into the compost tank. This one has been made of plastic. These are quite popular in public use, whereas in private residential use you might have the porcelain pedestal. That's about it. I could also show you the original green toilet system developed in Finland. This one is popular in public use or if you have an outhouse of your own. So imagine this is your outhouse building, you're entering your outhouse and then you would go inside, lift the seat, make your thing right over here, and then when you're done, you of course close the toilet seat within your outhouse. Below and beneath your outhouse, there is the green toilet 120 or green toilet 330 composting toilet container that you already saw when we discussed about the split systems. Again, this model separates the liquids within the composting toilet container. There is a double base design through which the liquids flow through and they come out through a hose and can be collected into a canister or whatever have you if you have a trench. Alright, that's pretty much all the models that we have here at the Waterless Toilet Shop. It was really pleasant to have you around. I hope this felt like you were here actually within our showroom seeing all the products. If you have any questions about any of our waterless toilet or composting toilet or just generally related to toilets like this, feel always free to contact us. You'll find our contact details at thewaterlesstoiletshop.com. There's our email, there's our phone number. You can contact us during the weekdays or even a weekend, and I will always respond as soon as I can. Thanks a lot for watching. It was really a pleasure to have you here. Hope to hear from you soon and make some more really great composting toilet videos. Thank you. Bye bye.